In this day and age, I don't care who you are, you can benefit from having an email list. Hello, if you are watching this, yes, you can benefit from having an email list. Because in this day and age, let's say you're the head of a huge company, whether you are, let's say, an employee at a company, if you're in between things, these are all good reasons to have an email list to help stay connected with people in this virtually interconnected world that we live in. And I'm going to share 5 things I wish I knew before starting my email list that you can benefit from, even if you're not quite sure, you're on the fence. Maybe if you're even watching this, it's because you're considering it. If you're considering it, that is a sign to press the green button, press go, it's time. Okay. The first thing I wish I knew is to start now, to not delay. Even if it's a tiny Google spreadsheet where you have names and email addresses of people who have opted in that are, let's say, in your friend or friends, social circles, family members, different people, different colleagues even. And what I'd like to really emphasize here is that this helps establish the know, like, and trust factor that you've likely heard of. This is actually thinking long term, and it's not necessary to have that clarity today, but this is just setting yourself up to be in a good space of having people who are aware of what you're doing personally, professionally, travels, whatever it may be. These are people who have opted in to being in touch with you. And that brings us to the second thing that I wish I knew that I'd like you to know is to be consistent. Whether this looks like posting monthly, whether this looks like posting weekly. I mean, if you could even start with an annual newsletter, but I would encourage you to be a little more consistent than that, at least quarterly, please. And let's say if you're traveling, you can do, things that you learned in this new city that you were in, or if you are in a new industry, or if you're going to a lot of industry-specific events, or you can keep it vague. You can say, hey, everyone, whoever this is on social media, in person, I'm starting an email list. And as of now, it's quarterly, it's weekly, it's monthly. And if you're interested in learning about my personal development journey or, whatever it may be, here's the way that you can sign up. You can do this online, you can do this in person. And chances are, you'll have a few people, and it's okay if it's small and mighty to start, and you get to graduate from Google Spreadsheets once it begins to get more robust and it sort of takes a greater shape. But don't feel like if you have 5 people on your email list that you need to be posting every single week, for example. It's okay to, actually, I'm going to scratch that. If you actually feel like posting every week, it's probably the safest to really sort of play and experiment with a smaller group and allow people to kind of see these different ways that you'll take the newsletter. And it can take the form of a super long digest, or it can be bite-sized nuggets of, quote of the day and maybe your reflection on it, for example. All right. Step number 3 is to repurpose your social content. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel. If you were already creating content, let's say it's video content, it could be a post on Facebook, on Instagram. What I like to recommend that you do is give your email list the inside scoop. So let's say that you draft something for social media before you press send to the social media spheres. How about you actually send it to your email list first? And, if you are, let's say, selling something already, maybe you have a product or service, then this can be a great opportunity to also introduce sales into the mix and exclusive offers. Maybe you're doing market research on something that you're newly working on, then these are people that have opted into your world. Step number 4 is actually get an opt-in. So you may have noticed that I've been talking about this idea of people opting into your world and being genuinely interested. There are plenty of opportunities for you to buy email lists. There are also opportunities, let's say, if you are a part of an event or a summit, to get a list of dozens, hundreds, thousands of people. But if someone receives your email and they're scratching their head wondering, okay, did I ever sign up for this? Where did this come from? I have no idea. More than likely, there's a slight chance that they'll be drawn in and like, oh, I'm so glad that this email found me. But otherwise, it feels like an invasion of privacy, because it is. And these people will unsubscribe. And if that happens enough, your emails will be listed as spam. And even the people who opt in later, there will be a sort of bouncing effect where you need to then let people know, hey, check your spam, because I'm probably going to end up in there because of some past mistakes. Step number 5 is actually next level. Let's say that your list is growing and maybe you've graduated from a Google spreadsheet and sending it through your email to, a lot of industry leaders, at least in my personal development space, say to skip MailChimp, go straight to ActiveCampaign. So make note of that if you are, in that space. The next step is to create a lead magnet. So you can passively have people who find you online as you become more visible opt in. And what a lead magnet is, if you are not familiar, is something of value that you provide for free in exchange for their email. So you provide a gift. It could be a video training. It could be a one sheet of the top 10 places to visit for digital nomads. The sky is the limit. It could be a song. It could be a musical track, something that you believe people will find valuable, that you would like to connect with, that you may not already know. This is really a way to establish being in their world. So, it's important to get a good amount of data on these lead magnets. But let's say if no one's downloaded it, even though you've been talking about it left and right, for the better part of a year, maybe you want to move on. But it's something fun. It's something that you can have visible across social platforms. And this could be even one simple landing page if you don't have a full website, where there's this opt-in, and you will need to be in ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or something like it to make this happen. So I just wanted to mention that because it is a little next level if you were already on board with the above. Sometimes it's nice to futurescape a little bit. All right. If you have any more questions on curating and creating your email list, then go ahead and type those questions below. I'm happy to answer them. I have been nurturing my own email community for almost 5 years now. And it's really been beautiful to see it grow in engagement and to be able to have a place where I can share things that maybe I wouldn't share on broader social media. I highly encourage you to get the ball rolling if you haven't already, and have a beautifully connected day.